Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Critical Reactions with your host, Bryan. We're going to continue on with this week's theme of Spooky Week, exploring songs that are spooky, generally good tracks to pair with Halloween, which is coming up at the end of the week. Today we're going to be looking at something from the band's Morte Macabre. The track is called Symphonic Holocaust. It's also 18 minutes, and for some reason I have this feeling, a little scraping of skeletal bone down my spine. We're in for something blackened adjacent. I can read the band's logo, so I'm not thinking it's pure black metal, but something about the way everything is laid out. The name of the artist and song just got me thinking we have 18 minutes of music I'm probably not going to enjoy, though I might just be reeling from yesterday's Phantomos track 2 and just being a bit more skeptical of all of the music given to me. Alright, let's dive into this and see what Morte Macabre is bringing to the table today. So I generally like the vibe. I think it's doing a great job of creating something with a lot of anticipation, some sorrow, some negative element there, but also tension. But this, it needs to change. That is really getting on my nerves. Ooh, fun little hi-hat thing. I think singular repetitive sounds like that, I mean, it's digital, I bet, or digitized. It needs dynamic qualities to it. Come in a little softer, be a little longer than it needs to be, something to it. It's the perfect repetition that is grating on me. That bass is massive. I can't. feel like ripping this headphone off. Just like, nope, done. I don't want to hear it anymore. Jeez. I mean, this is just bass, drums. The drone, I mean, technically it's eighth notes or whatever. Yeah, eighth notes. And then I like this section though. It's a nice contrast. Good triplet polyrhythm there. Okay, drummer. I hear you, dude. You're good. The drumming certainly elevates the noisier parts for me. They have a great sense of rhythmic manipulation. You know what else about it too? We don't hear the attack or the decay on it. It just is, and then it stops being. I love this melody though. It captures this somber regret almost. Cool bass line to counter it. Tense, eerie, a bit unsettling, very unstable chords. Okay. It's kind of losing the thread here. Both of these solo ideas have no directionality to them. I mean, that works for creating a sense of feeling lost. Random blues ideas interesting. After all of that noise, we have an emptiness. I kind of thought it might have been clarity at one time, but I like the description of emptiness, a blotting out of the noise, not of finding peace, but of finding nothing. That noise is trying to come back in, though. There's been a gradual increase of layers and volume, but it's been so slow. They're really taking their time building this section up. Those little snare rolls. That idea, where is it now? It's on the bass now. It just keeps getting passed around. Yeah, a rising power, strength possibly. Oh, huh. I really liked that ending. Post rock, longtime viewers, y'all know, post rock's not really my genre. Long, slow burns, it's a tough one for me to enjoy, but well, I found myself drifting a couple of times, which I think music like this might even be an intended listening experience for the mind to wander to wherever the music is going to take it. But I did find, especially after minute 8 or so, as we were building up that back half of this track, there were some times when I was a little less analytical in my listening and more just kind of going with the flow, seeing where the song takes me. But I really liked the final 2 minutes or so. There was some neat harmonic ideas in there that felt like an outburst of energy that the song had been holding on to and trying to cover up, and it was piercing through all of that. A wonderful way to wrap that track up, and then it falls apart. And I was a little disappointed by this. I mean, sure, there can be artistic purpose for that, but on a first time listen, I was really hoping we ended on this high note, that we've spent so much time in this somber, melancholic noisiness, that to find strength through that and to chase down a light at the end of this tunnel, only for the tunnel to cave in at the very last moment, feels anticlimactic. It feels like a bit of a letdown to me in particular. Maybe other people felt that. Maybe you really enjoyed the ending, just falling apart rhythmically, harmonically, just kind of crumbling at the end until it's just a bit of noise and then silence. Can't say I was a super big fan of that, but it's kind of rare. I really enjoyed what the song was doing at its peak. And I think that while this song does take a really long time to build up, the ending was worth it. Would the ending have been just as effective if we had shaved off a couple of minutes in the middle? Maybe. But I don't think the song would have been effective without any sort of slow burn. And there certainly is a point that it needed to be a specific length. Regardless, though, it's pretty rare for a post-rock track to get me at the end, and this worked. I quite enjoyed that. Now, the rest of the track, though, I don't know that I have as much positive to say about it. I like the melody in the beginning of the song. We bounce back and forth between this louder section with guitars and then this quieter section with, I think, a violin just playing this really somber melody. I like the melody. The guitar part was fine. This entire 7 minutes, though, has this one sound on the right. I think it was every beat or every other beat, absolutely drove me bonkers. And like I mentioned, it was the perfect repetition of it. If it was being hand played, I don't think it would have irritated me as much, but it was in production perfected. This one idea, copy and pasted over and over and over, and it just sounds the same. It's been quantized to perfection, and the repetition of it just drove me bonkers. It's irritating. I think I've said this in the past before about highly repetitive sounds. It's sort of like a kid just being like, Dad, 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 Dad. And it's just like, do something else, please. A different cadence, a different, the pitch, a different sweeping of the pitch. Exit and enter the word differently. I just want some variation on that one sound over here. It would have been fine for me. But maybe also that's the point of it. It's grating. Maybe intentfully grating. Regardless, I found the rest of it to be rather emotionally evocative. There's some neat layers going on, some rare, interesting drum work, and it's just a rather dark, moody 8 minutes. I don't really have much else to say about that because it felt hyper repetitive. Like I said, just kind of two ideas, not much variation between them, just bouncing back and forth between them. It built up into a noise section, starting off with just a cacophony of sounds and slowly eroding away at that until we have a pretty standard rhythm section underneath two soloing instruments. I don't know what they were. When the right instrument did its faster playing, I don't know if it was tremolo or just 16th notes, but it sounded like it was a bowed instrument. But other times it felt like a picked one. So I don't know, the same thing kind of happened with this left instrument. I don't know if they were violins or guitars. Definitely some sort of string though. We've returned down to just a basic rhythm section underneath, and then these two instruments soloing. And it starts out fine. And then about a minute in, I just begin to realize it's not going anywhere. The two ideas are not playing with each other nicely. It's simply just two simultaneous concepts, sometimes creating a lot of friction, neither of them working well together harmonically, neither of them really exploring too much harmonically on their own either. By a minute and a half in, I realized we're not going anywhere. We're just kind of sitting still, spinning our tires. We're lost. We have no direction in this moment. That's fine from an artistic perspective. From a musical perspective, though, I wasn't really on board with this. It goes on for much longer than I would expect, but eventually both sides peter out and we're left with our rhythm section and a lone violin to give us some ambient sounds. Little bit of a melodic jingle here and there, but nothing large, nothing with a linear through line, just little ornamental ideas here and there. I liked this moment. I had compared it during the reaction from moving to noise, not to peace, but to emptiness. Not finding clarity in the mind, but putting your mind in a state of focusing on nothing at all. I really liked that movement. And of course, this was the start of the slow burn to bring in the layers and the volume and take us to the outro, which saw a harmonic shift towards a strength, a positivity, a growth. And that led to a great finale to the track. But that's honestly all this song is. The noise of the intro moving into a noisy duet, into silence, building that up into a semi-triumphant direction ending that ends flatly with chaos and noise again. And I think it tells a pretty good story through all of that. Though, again, like I said, some of these sections I feel like could have been pared back a minute or so, but I'm sure that the post-rock fans in here are disagreeing with me that this was the perfect length for them and they really enjoyed it. In fact, they would have been fine if it were longer. But I don't know that I have much else to add to it other than that commentary on the narrative I got out of it, because it is fairly straightforward and spends a lot of its time just doing one thing. Oh, I was going to say, let me hit some lyrics on this, but there's no lyrics to this track either. And I guess we wrap this one up then. These are my thoughts on, I've been calling it Morte Macabre, but I wonder if it's Morte Macabre. The second, I mean, the E in macabre silent, but I don't know if the E in the first word is. Well, if you know, let me know in the comments on their track Symphonic Holocaust. But what are your thoughts on this? Did you enjoy it? Is there anything that stood out to you? If you haven't heard this before, which is probably going to be a lot of you since they don't have a lot of monthly listeners on Spotify, I'd be curious to see what their YouTube numbers are, or even Bandcamp. Although this came out in 1998, so not even a new thing, just not very well-known older track. If you haven't heard this before, though, are you going to listen to it? Are you going to check out the rest of the album? Did you enjoy it? Do you have a different perspective or opinion on it? Let me know. Put all of that and anything else you'd like to add into the comment section below. Above that, in the description box, is a link to Linktree. Takes you here. You can find links to my music, ways to support the channel, a link to the Discord server, and so much more. Above that, if you could, like, subscribe, and ring the bell. I greatly appreciate all three of those. That wraps it up for today. I'll be back tomorrow, though, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 9 p.m. UTC as usual. Until next time, remember to be critical, not cynical, with the music you listen to, and have a fantastic morning, afternoon, or evening, whenever you choose to watch my videos.